Hi, welcome to Eclipse tutorial. So I'll start by clicking on OK. In this very tutorial, I intend to develop a restaurant management system. So while we wait for Eclipse to finally load up, just to let you know, the system will be similar to the one I developed in Java NetBeans. Let's go into Eclipse development environment now. Now we're in Eclipse. We go to File, New, Java Project, and right there let's give it a name. So I will call that Restaurant and click on Finish. There. Now that the restaurant folder is ready, right click on it and select New, select Order, and make sure you have your window builder selected. If it's not selected, just drop it down and select Swing Designer right there. Once you select the Swing Designer, select Application Window, click on Next. Now let's give it a name. So I'm going to call it Restaurant. So call it Restaurants, click on Finish. Now you see the program build up. That is the restaurant program right there. And here I have my design. Here we click on the design. Once you click on the design, the program will build up and you can see the folder right there. Okay. I guess you can see the design icon right there. Okay, we get the development environment. That's the frame right there. If you like, you can always go to the source right here, and right there in the source there I'm going to change the following attributes. But just before then, let me take you guys back in. If I run this program now, this frame, you will see it somewhere here, and that is what 100 by 100 stands for. So let's run that so that you confirm what I meant. You see that it's right here, 100 by 100, but I would like you to start somewhere here, and I want something of about this size there. Okay, so that's what I would have to do now. So let's go into the source file here, and right here, instead of 100, I will change that to 0. And change the other one. That's the width, which is the x-axis, is 0. Now the width of my program will be about that, 1368, and I will now change the height to 689. If I click on design, you will see the program sort of like build up, and that is my file right there. So if I choose to run it, let's run it, and you see this dialog box, save and launch. Click on OK, and there. So that is my program and how I want it to be. Close it. Now that I have my program in place, if I double click on the program name itself, I'll get the whole screen open up for me. Let's do that again. There we go. And here I need to create the following. So I'll start by selecting Absolute File or Absolute Layout there. And once you select Absolute Layout, if you notice the green border around your frame, now click inside it there. I will now select as follows. Select a J panel, draw that in there. The property of my J panel, let's go to where it says border right here and change the border. Select this, change the border line to maybe, let's make that 8. I'm going to need 4 of those. So let's speed that up. So just paste that in there. Select, copy and paste. That's number 2. I need 2 more. Copy, paste it there, maybe underneath here. maybe one here. Just need one right here. There. So I will now rearrange the whole interface and get back to you guys. And right here, this is how my interface is looking. If you're wondering why up there empty, I intend to enter the title up there. So let's do that now. So I'll now come up here, right up there, select my layer right here. Let's select that, paste that up there, and just change the name. You can change the name from the property here, or if you want, you can always go to source file and right there just change the name. Let's change it to loan management systems. That's the name of my program, and this is supposed to be the width. Okay, so but one thing first, we need to increase the font size, which we can always do from the dialog box here. Right here we can go to the font. As you notice, there's nothing saying font here. Okay, we can do that in the code or do it right here. Let's do it here. Make that bold and let's select approximately 50 there. So we just need to extend it about that. Then 50 might be a little bit too small. We'll fill it up. Let's see if I can fill it up. Maybe 70. Let's try 70, and that is 70. Let's see if that would be good enough. Okay, that is 70. Take that up, and then we need to change, add an S to it. Yeah, add an S to it. Management systems. Alright. If we choose to increase it more, let's increase it a little bit more. Maybe let's go for 80 and see what will happen. That is 80. Okay, so I think I'm going to settle for 80 and just bring it there. So you see. Okay, let's run the program. Save and launch. Yeah, there. This is how it's looking now. Maybe might need a little bit of moving. Okay, let's move it up a little bit. So close that and just close it. Yeah. Now let's move this up a little bit more. The next part of it is to make sure we add a layer here. If we don't add a layer to it, we won't be able to use it as we want. As you can see, you will notice the green border, so click on that. Now we can then add a label, because you see we can move the label to whatever location we want, and that label will be known as, let's give it chicken burger. Right, and just realign it and increase the font size. Let's make that a little bit big, maybe 24 right there. Okay, so we'll need a couple of those more. Alright, so I can copy that and paste. That'll be chicken burger meal. That'll be the meal. Go to the code and just get it sorted. Chicken burger meal for that. That's fine. I'll do that. I'm back to the code. Okay, increase the font size. Paste another one. And this will be maybe cheeseburger. Let's go into the code as well. And change that to cheeseburger. Back into the code there. Okay, I now need text box. Enter a text box here. Increase the font size to 24 as well. There, and make sure it's bold. Or maybe plain is fine. Okay, there. This will enter how many border you want. Okay, copy and paste. Leave that there. I'll repeat exactly the same thing for the next one. So what I'll do now is let me just speed up this system, but before then let's run it and see how it looks like. And this is how it's looking right now. It's not too bad, so let's continue. So I will copy one of these, or maybe just copy it all, copy and paste it right in there, but make sure you have entered a layer there. Okay, make sure there's a layer there. Now paste what I've copied right there. That's fine. And I intend to change the names of each of them. So let's go into, I think it's easier for me to do it maybe here, or if you want, let's just do it in the code right in here. I'll change that to cost of drink or drinks, and the next one will be cost of meal, and the last happens to be cost of the cost of delivery. Alright, there. So that is all that done right there. Let's add another label. I need labels here, and that very label, let's change the font to 24 as well. Make that 24 there. Just extend it about that right there. I will now set the properties as follows. Let's align it to right, and maybe we need to extend these and see what we can reset. I was actually trying to set a border for this label, but I couldn't find it. I think what I'll do is let's copy the border of this. Yeah, let's copy that, since this label is now, the border is not appearing here, so I'm going to improvise. Come straight into the code right here. We'll see panel, and here we have the border for the panel right here. I'll copy that. Now come back straight into this very label. Let's change to design view right there. That is the name of the label, and underneath here, let me paste this first and just copy this, the name of the label, copy it and paste it right in front of this, and that should give me the label, but this is too large. Well, let me just show you guys what I've just done. That is it right there. I will now come back in here, change the border. This is the border, change that to about 2 should be okay. The name of the label, there is no name, so we'll make that empty for now. Click on OK, and that is it. I have my border in place, so I'll copy because I intend to use it as my output. Copy it to this place, and another copy, paste it right here. Alright, that is my labels in place for the cost of delivery, menu, and drinks. So now select all of this. Let's just select this one. So I will repeat exactly the same thing here. Come right in here, and I need a layer in there. Paste the layer, then paste the copied component in there. Okay, I'll just speed that up and get back to you guys. Okay, so when I run it, this is how the program is looking now. So I just need more component in here, and here. I need a calculator in here. I've already developed a calculator in Eclipse, so maybe I should just take a shortcut, come to the calculator there in Eclipse, just copy and paste, or maybe we design one together. But that will take a long time though, but why not? Let's copy and paste it. So you can always copy from Eclipse to Eclipse. So that is the calculator I have developed before. So I will now select it all. And just copy it, go into my restaurant management system, double click, come right here. That's where I want my calculator. You must select absolute layer. That's it. You can see the green border. Click, and now before pasting my calculator, I need that very component, which is jTab, or you can just call it tab control. That's my tab control right there. Let's just align it properly and take it down there. Okay, now for it to have the appearance of tab, we now need to add jPanel to it. That's it. Click and let's drop it in there. Click. That's it. Okay, I have one panel there, so I need to add another one. That's it. I have all my panels in place. One of them will be used for as a receipt, while the other one will be used for calculator. Okay. So the next thing now is, maybe if you want, we can go inside the code and just change it around. That's it here. So that will be the receipt. So let's change that to receipt. Okay, the next one here, that will be for the calculator. Right, so that's for the tab control. So come back in here. You see the names has changed. So up here I have calculator. So that's the calculator tab. In the calculator tab, I will now drop the copied calculator right in there. It's in there, but it's not as I expect it to be. So I'm going to undo that. So we need this absolute layer as well. You see, you can see the green border. Click. But that is how important the absolute layer is. So when I paste my calculator now, all we just need to do is to drag it and position it as we want. Right there. That is my calculator in position. Next thing, let's go to the receipt. There. We also need an absolute layer on the receipt. Select the absolute layer, drop it right in there, click. There. Now I need a text box. That's it. jTextField. Come right in here. Okay, and just align it the way I want. Right there. Brilliant. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. If I choose to run, let's run it, and you guys see save and launch. There, so I can click. Calculator is not doing anything right now. Receipt is right there. Okay, so let's just finish up with the design. Okay, I will now speed up the design of the rest of the interface. This is how it looks for now, so let me get that out of the way and I'll get back to you guys. Okay, this is how this program is looking right now. Let me collapse this so that you guys can see it properly. Collapse this as well. That's how it's looking. So if I run it and drop this down, you see there's nothing in there, there's no drink to select. So let's say there's drink there, you can also enter how many drinks you want right in there. So let's close that. I will select this now and go to the property right here. Okay, you see where it says mode, click that and enter as follows. Those are the drinks that will appear on that very combo box. Okay, and let's separate it. Let's use a separator. I think there might be a separator here. Let's look for one. There we go, we have a separator here. Select that. I will place that in there. Okay, that is it. It seems a little bit too small. It's selected anyway. Let's come in here, change this to about 5 and these to maybe 6. Design. Yeah, that's it right there. The separator is there. Let's move it back up there. Okay, so let's just increase it and do that. I think it's going, yeah. Now that's why I do it in the code. So let's say 520. Alright, so if I run it, let's run it now so that you guys see that. And this is how it looks. Now we have the food there, the drinks here, and if we drop this down, we can select what kind of drink the customer wants. Okay, so one more thing, I just need to take care of this part of the program. Once that is done, let me move this back up. Okay, let's close that and move this back up. Take it back up. Yeah, that's where it was. Okay, I'm gonna copy this, and here let's select Absolute Layout, paste it in there. You can see the green border, paste that in there. Okay, let's copy it again, copy Absolute Layout selected, just paste it anywhere there. Yeah, it's nice. And now I need to change the content in there. So let's go to the property right here and go to normal and enter in there as follows. Click on OK. So that would be for my currency converter. And let's copy this as well. Copy, paste it, and do that. And to copy, paste it in here. Okay. And let's copy a label as well. Copy and paste that right in here. That's it, that's a label there. Now two more things actually. We need to create buttons. We need a couple of buttons. One here and one more here. Then we need, let's go for 4 of those. That's not gonna work. We need absolute layer there first. Absolute layer there. Now we need buttons. 1. Okay. Alright. Okay, maybe 2 more. Yeah. Okay, this is how the system is looking. Let me run it and you guys see how it looks. That's how it's looking finally. And all I just need to do now is to start with the coding. For your information, each of these components has a name. I've given them all a name. So if I go to the property here, select any of these, you can see the name there. That's jButton reset, jButton total, jButton receipt, jButton exit, jButton close, jButton convert, and so on. They all have names. You can see the names. Okay, one name is missing right here. We need to get that sorted. Alright, that'll be cost of menu, jLabel cost of menu. Alright, that one is sorted as well. So yeah, okay, they all have a name, and that's it. So let's double click on exit and enter the following lines of code for exit. That is the exit code. So if I run it now, we can exit. That's fine. Okay, now let's take care of the reset button right here. You can either right click and select add event handler, and straight there go to action perform right there. That's right in there. Enter as follows, and right here those are the reset commands. Okay, so from here up here, I guess you guys can see it. So let's run the program now and enter some data in there. Let's enter whatever in here and anything there. We cannot enter anything in here because it's all labels. Change this around to maybe US or whatever, and select a drink. So let's click on reset button there. That's fine, working as expected. Try it again on reset there. Check out the exit there. That works as expected. Those are the lines of codes one more time. So let's go back in here and double click on total. We need to take care of the total before taking care of the receipt. Double click on receipt or right click, go to add event and action perform. Okay, right in here, and here the first part of the code for total is from here and down here. So maybe I should move this a little bit up. Okay, let's move this up so that you guys can see that. Alright, this belongs to this and this belongs to this. Okay, these are the codes for the cheeseburger, chicken burger, I mean. That's the code for chicken burger meal, and that's the code for, those are the codes for cheeseburger. Okay, well, now that we've got the first part of the code taken care of, let's run it and see. If I run this, so if I enter the amount of each of the meal in there and select total there, so all I now need to do is to be able to select drink and then enter how many in there, for example. So I expect the price of cola to be multiplied by the quantity here, and if I click on home delivery, the home delivery will be standard, and the tax, I want the tax of everything worked out here. Okay, let's take care of that now. Reset, exit. Okay, let's take care of the home delivery. So what I'll do is double click on here. let's use the if statement to get that sorted. So right underneath here, let's say we have home delivery there. So that's home delivered right there. So I'll just get a break in there, and that is for home delivery. Okay, so if this is the standard price for home delivery. So if you enter nothing, that will be 0. So let's see. So in this case, if this is selected, the checkbox, if it's checked, then this variable is assigned to this variable right here. This double variable is converted to this string variable, which is then assigned to the label, else the label becomes 0. So if I run it right now, as you can see, there's nothing there. Okay, if I enter value in here, let's enter the amount of meal ordered, and right here if I check on home delivery there, so the home delivery is standard. Supposing I take that off and I click on that, the home delivery is default back to 0. If I don't do that, there will be an error at one point. That's why I have to default it back to 0. And the next one is, let's take care of this. Let's take care of the tags. Okay, the drink. Let's take care of the drink and then the tags. Okay, let's take care of the drink or the drinks. Okay, just for the drinks now. So let's double click on that. Double click on total. Come right down here. So right here, I will now include the codes for the drinks, and let me take it back up. See, from here down, okay, those are the variables for the drinks, and right here, whatever I enter in the text box of the drink is called drink, is assigned to this variable drink. That variable drink is multiplied by whatever the price of a drink is, and that is it right there. So if you want maybe 6, that means 6 multiplied by £1.20, and that is it right there. So in here I said if drink selected equals apple, which means drinks multiplied by apple. Okay, this variable is then assigned into this string variable, which is then assigned to the cost of drinks, and that is exactly the same thing that I repeated for the rest of the drinks. So let me take it down so that you guys can see it. You see, it's exactly the same lines of codes for the drinks. There's no difference, just the same lines of code. The only difference is right here. If you don't select any drink, then that will default back to 0, and that is all for the drinks. So from up here again, let's show it to you as the drinks. Alright, so now let's take care of the tags. So let's go back into the program. Right here now, we need to be able to, when this very one is checked, I want you to add up all of these and then divide it by whatever the tax rate is then assigned here. So let's do that now. So double click on total again. So I'll work that out right underneath here, right underneath the drinks. Let me put that here. And just enter tax rates there. Okay, so let's get the name of that let's get the name of this. I think it's called here, that's it. jCheckBox, copy, double click on the code, and right here you need to use an if statement to make that work. Now here. So if jCheckBox dot is selected, okay, let's get it there, the center there, and I will want the following to take place. But before that, let me just enter the variables I intend to use here. So right there, those are the variables that I'll be using for this if statement, and right there. So I think we should, let's add another variable, really. Double all total equals C total plus C total 2. So let's make this C total 1, yeah, and plus C total 3. Okay, let's come in here, break this off, and divide that by 100. Okay, right there. Alright, so I will now come in here, and so we add all of this together, yeah, and then change this to 1, and then all of the total is then assigned into this I total, which is a string. The string is then assigned here, so that will be the tax. Okay, so that very tax will then be added into subtotal and total. But let's run it and see. So that's if it's checked, but does it have to be checked? Yeah, it's optional. Okay, let's run it. So enter whatever menu you intend to order. Drinks, let's say that's 2, and select the drinks that we want. Let's say we want Coke, home delivery, tax, there. Okay, we have the tax right there. Okay, and we now need to add this to all of these. We need to add all of these together to get the subtotal, and all the subtotal plus this to get the total. Alright, we're heading somewhere. Okay, for the total, so all we just need to do is maybe copy this and just paste it underneath here. That will be total. And right here, those are the lines of code for the total and the subtotal. So if I run it, let's run it now. Run the code. Enter some value in there. It's a little bit different from the one developed using Java main bean, really. So let's come in here and just click on that, and that is it. That is the total. Okay, that one is sorted now, so we just need to finalize this, and that'll be all. Okay, let's take care of that. So the code for total is taken care of, though it's a little bit long. It's from here, take it down, that's for the drinks, tax rate, and final total. Okay, let's double click on the converter button right there. Double click on it, and right here, but just before then, let me show you guys the variables. I believe I showed you the variables earlier on. I'll be using the following variables. Okay, so let's take it down. And right here, we should enter the very first line of code. So what this is saying is, whatever is entered into the converter text box is assigned to British pounds, and if you select Nigeria, then British pounds multiplied by Nigeria, that should give you the conversion rate. I'm not 100% sure what the conversion rate are, but it's left for you guys to find out. So what I'll just do is, let me run this first before we continue. So if I come in here, select the Nigerian and maybe whatever, and just convert, that's the conversion rate. Okay, so just click on close so that we can exit or just get rid of those. Now I will now copy this and change the names of the country. Just copy and come right down here, paste. I think the next country I have is USA, and just change this to, I think it's called US dollars, something like that. Yeah, that's it right there. Copy that and come right down here, double click and just paste that right here. There. So I have that of US dollars, and the sign will be, let's go for US dollars. So let's run that and see how that works as well. And select the US dollar, enter whatever in there. Okay, it's working as expected, so that's good. So I'll just speed that up as you guys can see. It's the same lines of code. So let's get the text content. Let's center that horizontal. Let's get it centered. That's fine. Okay. So I'll just show you guys so far what we've done. Those are the codes for conversion. The first two, which is Nigerian US dollar followed by Kenya. That's it there. Then we have the Canadian dollar there. Brazil, as you can see, is the same lines of code as India, Philippines, Indonesia. I may have got the currency notation wrong for some other countries. Just bear with me. Okay, so those are the lines of code. If I run it now, let's run the program, enter whatever I want to enter in here, and select the kind of drink you want. Let's go for maybe Coke, home delivery tax. There. Okay, now conversion rate. Select whatever currency you may want. There. Alright, now you can use the calculator to carry out some checks if you want. And one more thing, and I think I need to be able to maybe close or clear whatever there. So let's get that done now. Come to the close. Let's get this. Copy that. Copy. And where it says close, double click and just clear it. I'm not going to do anything special there. Let's say no value. And I think there's another one that needs to be cleared as well. Let's come in here and double click here and just look for the reset. Let's come in reset. There's some codes in there I can copy. Okay, converter. I need this. Now we also need this. Okay, those two. Copy that. And this one is just txt converted. So let's go in here. Double click. Paste this in there and copy this for the other one. Paste that in there. Just change this to converter. That's it, taken care of. So if I run it, so the close is now working, hopefully. So enter whatever in there and convert, close there. So, and that will be all now. Okay, finally let's take care of the receipt now. Double click on that so that we can get something out of here. So let's double click on the receipt and enter the following lines of codes there. So from here down here, those are the lines of codes for the receipt. You can always improve on that if you want. I just decide to enter the 3 basic products. So if I go to run, click on OK there and just enter how many chicken burger and enter the rest value in there. Select the drinks that we want, home delivery tax, and click on total. That will give us that, and we can always convert it if you want to whatever currency you choose. So let's go for that and just convert and receipt there. You can also calculate it to find out how much everything costs. The choice is yours, and just enter your receipt right there. And with that, I'll call it the end of this very long tutorial. I suppose you all enjoyed. So subscribe and leave comment. With that, I'm gonna call it bye for now.